Man, sometimes I just find myself staring at the ceiling at night, wondering about some big questions. Like, what's the purpose of life? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, all the time. I think it's one of those questions that just nags at you, especially when things slow down. But it's a tough one, right? I mean, there's no straightforward answer. It's one of those things that philosophers have debated for centuries.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone seems to have a different take on it. Some people say it's about happiness, others talk about leaving a legacy, and then there are those who say it's all about religious faith. But the more I think about it, the more I realize how personal it is.
That's true. I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. They look for a universal answer when it might just be different for everyone. What's your take on it? Have you come to any conclusions?
I've been leaning towards the idea that life's purpose is more about the journey than any specific destination. Like, it's about growth and experiences, you know? Every struggle, every triumph, it all shapes who we are. But even then, I feel like that's just scratching the surface.
Life's like this ever evolving puzzle where the pieces change as you grow. I sometimes think of it in terms of connection, too. Like, the purpose of life is found in the relationships we build, the love we share, and the impacts we have on others.
I really like that. It's like we're all part of this bigger web, and each connection we make adds to the overall tapestry of existence. It's a nice thought that we're all contributing to something larger than ourselves.
It doesn't have to be something grand or world changing either. Even the small acts of kindness or the everyday interactions can give life meaning. Sometimes, I think the purpose of life might just be to live it fully, to be present in each moment, and to appreciate the little things.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. But do you ever wonder if there's something more, like some higher purpose that we're meant to fulfill? Maybe something that's written in the stars or part of some grand design.
Sometimes, yeah, it's tempting to think that way, especially when you're searching for meaning. But then I wonder if maybe we create that higher purpose ourselves through the choices we make and the passions we pursue. Maybe it's not something we're born with, but something we carve out of life as we go along.
So, in a way, we're all artists painting our own purpose on the canvas of life. But what if someone doesn't know what to paint? What if they feel lost or uncertain about their direction?
I think it's something we all go through at different points. But maybe that's part of the process too, feeling lost and then finding your way. It's like wandering through a dense forest, not knowing where the path leads, but trusting that each step will take you somewhere.
I like that metaphor. It reminds me of that quote, not all those who wander are lost. Maybe the purpose of life isn't about finding a clear path, but about embracing the journey, wherever it leads.
Sometimes, the most unexpected detours end up being the most meaningful. It's funny. We often think we need to have it all figured out, but maybe life isn't meant to be figured out at all. Maybe it's more about living in the questions and being okay with not having all the answers.
It takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Instead of stressing about whether we're doing life right, we can just focus on living authentically and making the most of our time here.
I think that's where a lot of peace comes from. Accepting that life is inherently uncertain and that purpose might not be a fixed destination, but something fluid that evolves with us.
So, in a way, purpose is what we make of it. It's the meaning we assign to our experiences, the values we choose to live by, and the legacy we decide to leave behind.
Yeah, and it can change over time too. What feels purposeful at one stage of life might shift as we grow older or as our circumstances change. And that's okay. It's all part of the ebb and flow of life.
You're right. I've noticed that my own sense of purpose has shifted as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I was all about achieving certain goals, getting a good job, making money, and so on. But now, I find myself caring more about things like relationships, inner peace, and contributing to the community.
That's growth, man. As we go through life, our priorities change, and so does our understanding of what gives life meaning. It's like we're constantly refining our purpose based on our experiences and the lessons we learn along the way.
I guess that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Life doesn't stay the same, and neither do we. We're always evolving, always learning, and always searching for meaning. And in that search, we find our own unique purpose.
I think it's also important to remember that purpose doesn't have to be something monumental. It can be as simple as being a good friend, making someone's day a little brighter, or pursuing something that brings you joy. Those little things add up to a life well lived.
That's true. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that purpose has to be something grand, like changing the world or leaving a huge legacy. But sometimes, the most meaningful purpose is found in the quiet, everyday moments.
I think if more people embraced that idea, they'd find a lot more fulfillment in their lives. It's not about how much you achieve, but how you live each day and the impact you have on the people around you.
I agree. It's about living with intention and being mindful of the choices we make. Even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect, touching lives in ways we might never even realize.
That's the beauty of it, though, isn't it? We might never fully understand the impact we have, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Every interaction, every decision, it all contributes to the greater tapestry of life.
And that brings us back to the idea of connection. Maybe one of the deepest purposes of life is to connect with others, to share our journeys, and to help each other along the way.
I think you're onto something there. Life is so much richer when we share it with others. Those connections give us a sense of belonging, of being part of something larger than ourselves.
Yeah, and in a way, that makes life feel less lonely. Knowing that we're all in this together, all searching for meaning in our own ways, it creates a sense of solidarity.
Exactly. We're all on different paths, but those paths intersect in so many ways. And each of those intersections is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to find new purpose.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it, how interconnected we all are, even if we don't always see it. Every person we meet, every relationship we build, it all shapes who we are and what we consider our purpose to be.
And that's why it's so important to be mindful of how we treat others. Because in a way, we're all helping to shape each other's purpose. The kindness we show, the support we offer, it all contributes to the bigger picture.
It makes me want to be more intentional with my actions, knowing that they could be impacting someone else's journey in ways I can't even imagine.
It's a good reminder for all of us. Life is short, and we only get one shot at it. So why not make it count by living with purpose and compassion?
Yeah, why not? It's funny how talking about this stuff can really put things into perspective. I feel like I've got a clearer sense of what matters now, just from this conversation.
Same here. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and forget to reflect on the bigger picture. But every once in a while, it's good to step back and ask ourselves these questions. It helps us realign with what truly matters.
I think that's another part of the purpose of life, taking the time to reflect, to grow, and to keep moving forward, even when the answers aren't always clear.
Life is this ongoing journey of discovery. We may not always know where we're headed, but as long as we're moving with intention and staying true to ourselves, we're on the right path.
Maybe that's all we can really ask for, to live a life that feels true to who we are, to seek out meaning in the things that matter to us, and to share that journey with others.
At the end of the day, the purpose of life might just be to live it fully, with love, with curiosity, and with an open heart.
Thanks for the talk, man. I feel like I've got a lot to think about, but in a good way.
These kinds of conversations are important. They help us stay grounded and remind us of what really matters.